I'm Steve North. I'm a farmer in West Tennessee along the Mississippi River. Farm cotton, corn, soybeans, and Ross gets right off farm wheat. But not a big fan of wheat because it and cotton don't mix real well. But what I want to talk to you about today is probably the most important thing that you're going to do on your farm that affects your bottom line is how you market your crops. We all know that's an issue. I've got a friend of mine that I talked to about last year about marketing his corn, and he said, hey, what do you think corn's going to be this year? I said, I think it'll get to 425. That was in January. He said, there ain't no way. That'll never happen. So he got to 425. I booked a bunch of mine at 404, 408, 417. And then when he got to 425, he didn't book any. So later on, I booked the rest of my corn at 484. He called me that morning and he said, what do you think corn's going to do? I said, I don't know, but I've booked all the rest of mine. I ain't got any more left to book today at 484. He said, you don't think it's going to $5? I said, yeah, it probably will, but I won't have any to sell. He didn't. Guess what? He had 1,000 acres of corn, not one grain sold when he harvested it. Now he's going to get $345 for it. So you know, that's a story that we've had with farmers forever. The goal just keeps moving forward. They have a target, they keep moving it. That greed will kill you. When I was, my motto has always been, I'd rather reach in one pocket and pull out money than blow dust out of both of them. When beans got to be $15 during harvest back in 12 and 13, I was booked out. I averaged $13.50. All my buddies said, man, don't that make you sick leaving that $1.50 on the table? I said, no, I got rich off $13. so you know, that's just my theory is I have a set goal. Anybody who plans to fails to plan, plans to fail. You've got to have a plan or it won't work. Once farming was 80% mechanical and agronomy. My daddy could set the planter, fix the planter, keep the tractor running. That was 80% of it back then. Today it has totally changed. A third of it is the mechanical and agronomy side of it. The other third is the business aspect of it, is knowing whether you can pay $250 cash rent on a farm or it needs to be $150. And buying land, whether to buy land or rent land. The other aspect of it is the marketing, and believe it or not, it's a third of it. And if you don't pay attention to your marketing, it's almost impossible to make money off of these low margins today. How many, if I ask all of you in here, do you consider farming to be a gamble? That's a no-brainer. It's a gamble. What my goal is today is help you take some of the gambling out of farming. And here's the way I do it. It all starts with bookkeeping. I use QuickBooks. I know exactly what every penny I spend on the farm goes. It either goes into fuel, tires and batteries, it goes into repairs and maintenance, it goes into the employee cost, which is Social Security, everything, payroll, everything. I know every penny I spend because I keep it in QuickBooks. At the end of the year, I sit down and I take every one of those categories and I divide it out by the 3,000 acres I farm. I've got an exact cost per acre of every category, and I add them up. The next thing I do is I come up with my seed, chemical, and fertilizer costs. It's easy. I pull out a printout from Nutrien, or you can get it from Helena, whoever you do business with. What did I buy last year? And then I check my spray records, and I figure out what I spent on every crop per acre, everything, and I line it out. And then I know exactly what my seed, chemical, and fertilizer cost was last year. Then I know my indirect costs, which is labor, all the maintenance, repairs, and all of that. And then I set myself a goal using my 5-year average yields. And I determined what is a reasonable profit. If I asked any of you in this room, what does the average, your neighbor, average neighbor you got working in a factory or somewhere else, what is he making a year? I guarantee you it's less than $100,000 a year in most cases. And when we sit here on the farm, and I tell you my goal is $300,000 a year, and that is a high income for West Tennessee, a huge income for West Tennessee. this number on my farm is attainable every year. Rarely ever does that fall below that. Because I plan and I have a strategy for getting it accomplished. And here's kind of the categories I use to figure out what it costs. And this all comes from my QuickBooks. And employee cost, fuel, tires and batteries, repairs and maintenance, insurance cost, interest, custom application, airplane, machine hire, track hoe, airplanes, or if or anybody else I hire a custom apply. But and we do a lot of our own furloughs because we own our own equipment. Miscellaneous, accounting, utilities, communications, radios on the tractors, cell phones for my employees, land and equipment. Here's a big number right here. Mine ain't that high, but I'd say the average cost for most people is that high. And if your cost of land and equipment is more than this right here, you better have you some darn good land. Is about all I can say about it. And there's a lot of people out paying $250 rent. And there is land I can pay I got ground that I pay, one farm I pay $250 on, it's irrigated. I make 1,500 pounds of cotton every year on it. I got other farms I pay $150 for it. But I do won't make about 1,000 pounds of cotton. Now you tell me the difference between 1,500 pounds at today's price is $350 an acre. So there are some land that are worth $250. There's other land that you couldn't rent to me for $150. I can't make any money in it. After I figure it out about 2 years, I give it back to them. But and you've got to make that decision. That's part of the business. Just give it back to them. It's not profitable. And then here I take something like cotton. Here's what my production cost on cotton is going to be for this year. You got your early burn down. I use Direx as early burn down. Direx is a lot better pigweed material than most people think. It's also good on grass too. It's extremely inexpensive. So then I got all of my costs. This is my direct cost. Seed, chemical, and fertilizer, $307.14. Indirect cost is $339.59, counting land and everything. So my total cost of production for cotton is $646.73. Yours could be higher. You may have better ground than me. You can make, my 5-year average is 1,087 pounds on cotton. In Mississippi or some places in Arkansas, you got enough irrigation and stuff, your average yield may be 1,400 pounds. And if it is, you can afford to pay more for other stuff. But then I turn around and here's my marketing goal for cotton. If it cost me $646 to raise it, divided by 187 pounds, my 5-year average, my break even is 59.5 cents a pound of blend. My first goal on cotton, and I have different goals per acre for cotton than I do corn and beans, because I can promise you it's a lot more work involved in cotton than it is corn and soybeans. But my cotton, my first goal, and this is when I will book 50% of my crop, is $125 an acre. So $646 plus 125 is $771.73 an acre. Divided by my 5-year yield average, 71 cents target price. So I know right there, I've got to have 17-cent equities to get that. My average loan price will be around 54 cents. We always have a premium in loan. Sometimes I'll average 56, sometimes I'll average 53, but rarely below that. So I'll take my equity price of 17 cents. When it hits 17 cents, I'll book 50% of my cotton. And I can tell you another thing, if it's not 17 cents by the time I get ready to plant, I may not have any cotton. I'm gonna look at, see what the price of corn is, see what the price of beans is, and whichever one I can make money on, I'll move from one crop to the other. I don't want to tie myself up to where I'm obligated, but I understand. I've got a son-in-law that farms 6,500 acres of cotton. He done bought 3 brand new pickers. He is married to cotton. He don't have to have cotton. So that's just the difference in everybody's farming operation. But and then I'll set me a second goal, and this second goal will be 25% of my booking, and I want $150 an acre profit on it. So that means $796.63 divided by my break even is 74-cent target price. That tells me I've got to have 20-cent equities or 18-cent equities and a guarantee of a 2 or 3 cent gen rebate, which we still get gen rebates in West Tennessee, and most time last year around 3 cents. So I could have.
That's what I was going to ask. So you mentioned 17-cent equity. Does that include a gen rebate?
No,
and that
that
number, so you need
that does
17
not. So
plus
that
the
means I
3.
could do, that means I could do 14-cent equities if I get a guarantee. And my gen will let me go up there and say, hey, what's the price of cottonseed right now? Based on that, what would you pay me, guarantee me on the gen rebate? And they'll book it for you, and then they'll book their cottonseed wherever they're gonna book them at and guarantee me 4 cents. I have done it for 8 cents, and it'd be 4 cents at harvest time. So I've been able to do that before, but, and I probably have done it at 6 cents and it was 8 at harvest time. But I don't never even look back on that kind of stuff. That's a business decision. All I'm looking at is this number on the end. What have I got to have to make money? My goal is $300,000, and I'm working to get to that $300,000 profit all year long, and I never look back. If it could have been 600, I don't care. My goal was there. I met my goal. You got to be, you can't, water on the bridge is over with. That's gone. And my goal is what it is. And then in early August, I'll normally know what kind of yield potential I have. So at that time, I may market the other 25% of my crop, because I'm telling you, if it has rained in July and the first week of August, my crop and my cotton crop is going to be 1,087 pounds or better, probably be 1,300 pounds if I've got the rain. So that's a safe move to market that. Also, I found out over the years, most grain elevators will work with you. If you book more than you can make, they'll roll it to the next year, and Cargill pays me. If I book more than I did and they owe me money, they write me a check. If I owe them money, I write them a check. I never bat an eye. And that's just part of the business. But I'll book the other 25% of my crop, and the target cents will be 76 cents. So that would be probably around 22-cent equities, or with the gen rebate, 19-cent equities. And that's the way that I've been marketing for a long time. And that's the way. My corn production cost, this is what it costs to produce corn. Now, what do I do to reduce this cost a lot of times? And this is not included in my profit. I prepay for seed, chemical, and fertilizer. I may prepay for everything I'm gonna buy. And why do I do it? I save 10%. If I go borrow the money at Farm Credit to prepay that stuff, my cost of interest at Farm Credit right now is 4.25% interest. If I save 10% by prepaying it early, I have picked up another 5.75%. So that's the business aspect of it, and that's the things that you got to do. And my daddy's always told me, son, it takes money to make money, and if you don't have no money, you better know where you can get it. And I'm telling you, your best relationships are with your bankers. I'm from West Tennessee. I'll bank anywhere they'll loan me money if I need it. I'll go to Steele, Missouri. I'll go to Caruthersville, Missouri. I'll go anywhere. I'm shopping interest rates. And I'm shopping it just like you would anything else. So on corn, I told you on my cotton, my break even here on corn is my 5-year average 174 bushels. I don't have as good a corn ground. I put my cotton on my good ground, and my good ground is my cotton ground and my corn ground. It goes on the same ground. Well, I can't. A lot of times I have to raise corn as a rotational crop for my soybeans. I think I pick up 7 to 8 bushels more by rotating corn and soybeans. So I'm a big rotator. So I probably have 1,000 acres of corn, and that's mostly for rotational purposes, but I make money off of corn. Corn, my break even is $3.57 a bushel. I've already booked 25% of my corn. I booked some at $4.17, $4.10 in my pocket. That's very profitable. If I get $4 for corn, and you're talking about roughly 50 cents a bushel above my break even, that's pretty profitable on 174 bushels. That's $85 an acre, $86 an acre. That's profitable. And no work in corn. We plant it, spray it over the top, and then fungicide it and go to the house. It's simple. Cotton ain't like that. It just ain't the way it is in cotton. I love cotton, and that's what I paid my bills with for a long time. But I ain't farming cotton for fun. I'm farming cotton for profit. And that's what's been the most profitable over the years. But I will have a different goal for corn than I do cotton, and it's $75. It's $50 an acre less. So I'll start out with my break-even cost plus 75, That means I gotta get $6.96 total to reach that. That means $4 a bushel. If I put it in the bins, which I usually do, dry it down, costs me about 15 cents to put it in the bin and haul it. So it's $4.15 is my target price. Right now, I have 25% of my corn booked at an average of $4.14. So I've got part of that already done, and I don't know if it'll get to where I can do the rest of it, but I've got some of it, and if the more I can book at those kind of prices, the more corn I'll plant. But then my second goal is $100 an acre, and that makes me a break-even price of $4.29. So when I can get to where I can book it in my pocket, $4.29, I'll book it. And then the third, I'll set this other goal up mid-July, early August. If rain falls out, I know what kind of crop I've got by then on corn. I'll book the other 25% if it reaches my target goal. So, and the last target goes $4.44. Goals are reached, my average profit on corn will be $93.75 an acre. So, soybeans, different story. It's going to be hard to pencil soybeans out. One other phenomenon that's there that's really interesting is last year I booked my beans and I had an average price of $9.41. Then I got the Trump money. So whenever I got the Trump money, all of a sudden I wound up averaging about $11.15 for beans. So beans were no longer a stepchild crop. We made good money, really good money off of beans. But we may get to, who knows? We're going to get the third payment, with the final payment this time. It's supposed to come in February. It's an election year. That could happen again. That's the only wrinkle in marketing right now that's tough to do. If you think you're going to get it, you better be booking early, because I promise you the prices are not going to go up. That's why you're going to get the MFT payments. But my target on beans is $50 an acre. Add that to my cost of doing business, takes $10.10 to break even. So far that has not been offered. I haven't seen, I've had $10.04 offered one time, and then it back down. But I do another thing that a lot of people don't do. I will buy beans on the board. If they get, I own 100% of my beans I'm gonna grow this year on the board right now at $9.11 a bushel. That's really gambling. That's really gambling, but I don't believe beans go below $9. I believe at some point in time, I've already picked up 30 cents one time doing that this year and got out. My goal is to pick up another 30 cents again doing that. But then on the second goal, $75 takes $10.56. I don't know that ever happened in beans, but that's going to be interesting how to market your beans this year. Because it's going to be tough to break even. My conclusion is always know your production cost. Always have a plan for what you're going to market at. If you don't know what, the number one question I get from farmers, what does it cost you to raise an acre of cotton? My cost could be totally different than yours, because you could have farms that average 1,300 pounds. I could have farms that average 1,087. And that's true, because a lot of people make those kind of yields. I have a lot of easy gumbo ground. I don't make it good on gumbo. You gotta have a plan. And I always have a hedge account. And I use this guy right here, Pat McClatchy. He's in Memphis here at Rosenthal College Group. He gives me he gives me 3 or 4 texts a day with ideas. But I don't pay any attention to them, because I know one thing. If I win, he wins. If I lose, he wins. I always know that. He always wins. He always wins. He gives me a lot of ideas every day, but I don't always play his game. I pick out when everything to get to where I think they can't get any lower, I'm a buyer on the crop and move from there. But he's made me a lot of money over the years with stimulating my thought process. He stimulates him, but I always know he has ulterior motives involved too. But he is sharp. I mean, he's smart enough. They invite him to New York to speak on the cotton exchange up there. So he knows what he's talking about. He's been in it a long time. cottonseed oil payments in 2020, which last year my cotton oil payments on my cotton base was $42,000. So if I can get that and complete my marketing plan, I will exceed my profit goals, and that's what it's all about. You can never go broke taking a profit, and that's something that farmers have got to understand. You can't get the top. If you're reaching for that top, you're gonna get the bottom more frequently than you're gonna get the top. The worst time ever to sell a crop is at harvest. The basis is higher and the prices are usually lower. I've got a friend, John Lemonade, man, a big business broker down in Alabama. He only had one philosophy. You buy calls in the fall, you buy puts in the spring. And that's his only philosophy. And it works like 8 out of 10 years because cotton is always cheaper in the fall, or beans are in the fall than they are in the spring. Because when everybody's harvesting, the majority of the time, prices are going to be cheaper. The higher prices are going to come when they're trying to buy acres for next year's crop. That's all I got. Anybody got any questions on any of that? Gotta have a plan. Thank you. I appreciate your. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Do you break out your costs by field even, or you just do by crop?
I go by crop.
By crop? Okay.
By crop. No, you asked me that. No, my indirect costs are my seed, chemical, and fertilizer is by crop, but my indirect is not. It's my total input cost. Everybody says, well, you can't do it like that. You got to use your depreciation. I said, depreciation my butt. I got equipment payments. I know exactly what they are, and I divide them up, and that's what my cost is because I got to make the payment. I said, I can't make a payment off depreciation. I got to know exactly what my payment's going to be, and that's how I figure. And if I got land payments, and sometimes land payment may be $250 an acre, I just figured into my cost of land at $250. But then I've got other land that's paid for, and it's figured in at $150 because I pay my own self rent on it. I pay North Farms, pays Steve and Sheena North rent on the land at North, but farms our land, and that's what we do. Farming is funny. There's not a whole lot of money in farming, but there's quite a bit of money in real estate.
So you have those levels up there for the cotton market. So do you usually most years wait to get a contract until the market's at that level you can have that flat price? Mm-hmm. Or do you book an on-call basis? Or how do you want to look at that approach? Or do you use a co-op? Or?
No, I don't. I don't use a co-op. I use Vance Schoaf, who's called Vance, or David Brooks, and market my product directly to them. I say, what can I get for equities today? And if they say 14 and the gins told me they're going to pay me 3-cent gin rebate, that's 17. There I go, triggering sales. Now in 2018, I booked the first half of my crop at 18-cent equities, and I was happy with that. Then I booked the second half at 32.5-cent equities. I was even happier and thought I was an idiot for booking the other, but the time the prices went down. It was a good year. Yeah, it's an average. That's what you average. Thank you all. I appreciate all of you coming.
Thank you.